houseless sons, those houseless mothers, those houseless daughters, all those people that this system never wants to see, never wants to be, and looks away from we. What you gonna do? Oakland, Berkeley, Frisco, San Jose, arrest we?
We are in your city. We will be starting tonight's beautiful event in a good way with prayer from all four corners of Mama Earth. Beginning with prayer for the ancestors of this stolen Ohlone land. Then moving to Ifa Yoruba prayer from Africa for Eshu. And then Danza Escuela.
I also just want to say that decolonizing poetry, recognizing, and I really appreciate the relative for starting tonight out by recognizing the First Peoples. But we're celebrating the On Tour book across occupied Turtle Island, landmarks, monuments, and plaques, which is definitely a new kind of untour guide that begins with recognizing not only what land, stolen land we're standing on, but how many stolen people that it took to build this land and what we're actually perpetrating right now in this moment of so much colonial terror. So join me if you can in facing Mama Earth. Again, we don't really, for magazine, as a poor people, indigenous people, houseless people, land movement, we don't say land acknowledgement, we say land return and land back. Thank you, ancestors of this Mwekma, Ohlone land, and all the relatives who've been erased by colonial terror so that we don't even know who you are, for taking care of Mama Earth so well that we could even be here, for holding us even in the violence of settler colonial terror, and for still being here 530 and 250 and all the Tiburcio and colonial years later. Demanding land back! Land back! Every single black and brown and poor and white and disabled, houseless relative who died in these streets, right here, from the violence of homelessness, from the violent terror of sweeping humans like we're trash, lifting up and shouting out to James Edward Oakley from so-called Vallejo, to Shannon Marie Bigley from so-called Fresno, Yokat lands, from Buddha and Green Eyes and Stephen Taylor and Luis Pat and so many more who have died from the violence of capitalism and this idea that Mama Earth is a commodity to be bought and sold. Thank you to the Orishas and the ancestors. Thank you so much to Mother Earth, Madre Tierra, Tonantzin, Cualicolicue, Atabe, and so much forgiveness for all that we have rained on you as humans and for holding us through all of it no matter what.
Hi, my name is LeaJay, and I'll just be sharing a prayer in the Ifa Isheshe tradition, and it's in Yoruba. Ẹ̀wà bá lẹ́sẹ̀ wò, adífá fún Ọ̀rúnmìlà, rọ́jò tí bàbá ráyè ìsinmi, ẹ̀bùn wọn ni ó ṣe, Ọ̀rúnmìlà ti bẹ́bọ̀ níbẹ̀ orúkọ, ọgbẹ̀rù òtù, ti fẹ́ gbẹ̀mí ẹ̀jìnà, ẹ̀wà bá ní ní jẹ̀bútúre là bá ní lẹ́sẹ̀ ọba òrìṣà, ìjẹ́ onífunmi tútù rúbọ, wàkàtà ìfẹ́mi nítẹ̀yìn wa. Ìrìnà ọ̀dà òkà fún ni sùúrù ní bàbá ìwà, àgbàtọ̀ ní sùúrù ọgbọgbọ lọ́ní, wà jọ̀bú, wà jẹ atọ́, wà jẹ ọlá afá gbìrìgbìrì jẹ́ ní tílání, àdìfá fún orí iná, àbùfọ́jọ jẹ́, ẹjẹ́ orí iná mi, bẹ̀wà bẹ̀lẹ́ oko mọ́bàtọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀mi jẹ́, orí mi àgbẹ̀ rí, orí mi àgbẹ̀ sì, orí mi ọjọ́wọ́ owó agbére fún mi àṣẹ.
LeaJay, for that prayer. Again, like my sister was saying, with this on-tour book, with different monuments and landmarks, like we're acknowledging that not only as indigenous people we're here, and acknowledging, yes, that this land is a lonely land. Myself, a Purepecha from Michoacan, know there were guests in these lands, and we're multi-tribal from different nations. What we're going to offer is going to be some corporal prayers. And this is also a way of documenting too, right? That it says it in the book too, that at some point our people, our customs, what we're wearing with Allah, right? After colonization, these ways, the drum, the poposhkomi, was taken away, you know, by the Spanish, at least in Mexico. Yeah, and also here with the missions, the missions that they go throughout California. Again, it was about, you know, killing the Indian and saving the man. And so as we're saving these prayers and offering these prayers, it's also a testament of evidence that we are still here people. And so when we're dressed in our regalia, again, mimicking the elements, the birds, nature, the same thing that we do with our corporate prayer, acknowledging the elements. And so yeah, it's just a testament that we're still here as indigenous people. And again, acknowledging Maestro Álvaro, Jefa Irma, con Mexico Tenochtitlan. And I don't know if Álvaro wants to say something a little bit about this tradition and the way they got passed down.
We are sure he is here representing the Mexica Aztec culture. As Muteado say, Irma and my wife came from Mexico, Tenochtitlan, now Mexico City. And as our people did it and still did it, we migrate to, you know, share tradition, our culture, and sometimes to get a better life. Right now, this dream turned into a nightmare. And we're formerly houseless. Now we're full at Homefulness. And that's like I'm saying, me and my family, we didn't found Homefulness and Pure Magazine. They found us, and that's why we're here alive, survive this, I can say genocide. And here, yeah, we're here to share a little bit of tradition. Claso Kamati.
the beautiful prayer from all four corners.
Yes.
And I also want to say for all the poets in the house, and for this beautiful center, thank you, that prayer and palabra is poetry. And so for us, it's integral. And again, I just want people, there's a lot of separation, especially in, you know, these Western traditions of poetry. But poetry is top stories. Poetry is her stories and our his stories. And through that weaves the prayers of all four corners. So thank you again for our beautiful relatives from Southern Turtle Island, from Mama Africa, and from right here. Because the poor get poor while the settlers steal more land from Palestine to Turtle Island. And so I'm going to also lift up the free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free and liberated by the Palestinian people from Sudan to Haiti and all the spaces in between. So we're going to introduce ourselves through what we call a slam bios, our poetry, to short piece, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the book, and then we'll be sharing a poem from the book. The book, it weaves a lot of poetry all the way through. And again, I want to thank the Poetry Center of San Jose for welcoming us in. We love you so much. On the digital streets, come into the physical streets and check it out.
No nonprofit organizer can speak for the poet. No college professor can speak for the poet. I can speak for the poet because I'm on the poet. Got my head, I'm on the brokenless block. You see me, cause I own less than you. You diss me, these slums, mine. Frustration, mine. This thirst, mine. Starvation, mine. These wants, mine. These tears, mine. Displacement, fears, mine. They're with me all the time. The president is mine. And neither is his government. They straight represent the class hate I resent. I don't count the institutions of power. I don't count to a racist cow. Picture me not once worshiping their flag, as long as they continue to deny the flag. No news reporter can speak for the Pope. No social worker can speak for the Pope. I can speak for the Pope because I'm on the Pope. Got my head, I'm on the broke of this block. You see me, Dee Allen, Deep East Oakland, California.
Again, my name is LeaJay, and I was unhoused in one of Oakland's largest encampments, Wood Street, for 10 years, and then I became the 16th resident at Homefulness in 2023. And yeah, I'd have been through some shit, but I'm not mad at my trauma because it's the scars that mark my journey for roads not to cross again, turning my struggle into passion, victimization into determination. See, my family inheritance wasn't my grandma's money, nah. It was third generation single mother addicted, trying to be something, legacy, have something, abundance. I walk guided by my ancestors, and my commitment is to justice. Ashe.
Well, okay, this is Álvaro and Irma. I'd say early, we're just traditional people that we try to keep our tradition alive and living in this part of the world, our lives turn in a nightmare. But now we're still alive and be part of this beautiful organization that we call Homefulness and Poor Magazine. And yeah, we're surviving gentrification, not this system that kill all people, like poor people. But we really don't, we're not poor because we're rich in culture. And thank you, my wife, for being part of my life in my difficult times of life. Muteado.
¿Quieres decir algo?
Buenas noches a todos. Gracias por esta oportunidad que estamos aquí
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity of having us.
para que ustedes pues también vean todo lo que hacen las comunidades que ayudan a toda la
Also, so
gente,
you can witness the different ways and what our communities are doing
a toda la gente que ayuda. Yo agradezco
and the people
mucho
they help.
porque nosotros no teníamos una casa por 3 años, dormíamos en nuestro carro.
And again, just talking about my experience, we were houseless for 3 months, living in our cars. Years.
Y nosotros conocemos a mucha gente, muchísima, de todos lados, en California, en Oregon, en todos lados. Y aquí damos gratis clases de danza azteca por 40 años.
And again, we know people from different states here in the United States, but we also teach Aztec dance here in the Bay Area.
Y nunca jamás en la vida se nos ocurrió, con todas las personas que conocemos, preguntarles por una ayuda. Nosotros seguimos adelante hasta que encontramos o nos encontró Homefulness, y estoy muy agradecida con ellos porque entonces ya puedo dormir y ya no tengo que tener mis medicamentos tomándomelos en la calle en la noche. Cómete, Él es Dios.
And again, just closing by saying too, that it feels good to actually have a place to call your own, to be able to sleep in peace, and not even the fact of taking your medications in your car while you're living in your car. Muteado silencio, presente me alegro. Nuestras palabras son nuestras balas, nuestro lápiz es nuestra arma. Muteado silencio, our words are bullets, our pen is our gun. So sit back and relax, cause we gonna drive by your minds. We didn't cross the border crossed us. Nosotros no cruzamos la frontera cruzó a mi mamá y a mi papá. Oh, Mateo.
I want to shout out that Evander is in the room, and Ananda, also formerly houseless resident of Homefulness, and of course, Israel Munoz, it wasn't me on the ones and twos, who's holding all the cameras so he can't do it slam by. How convenient. Do you see us houseless mamas and daughters sleeping in these tents?
Yeah!
I said, do you see us houseless mamas and daughters sleeping in these tents?
Yes! Yes.
That's because we don't got money for the lie of rent. Evicted, swept, and kicked, because settler towns like these don't give a shit. Where do we go? They took away our homes. They swept us off the road. We don't have money for the rent, and they threw away our tents. Evicted, swept, and kicked. The settler towns like these don't give a shit. I'm a poverty scholar, that houseless mama, that houseless daughter. All those people they don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me, what you going to do? All these settler colonial cities, arrest we? I'm a poverty scholar, I normally rock my jailhouse attire because me and my poor mama did jail time for the poverty crime of being houseless in this occupied indigenous home. You might wonder why you can't see my eyes. It's because people would rather walk by houseless bodies like mine and wish that we would die. So I work every day to uninvisibilize fellow houseless lives like mine.
Poe Magazine is a Poe Indigenous, Disabled, Houseless People-led art, culture, and liberation movement. We launched a Stolen Land, Hoarded Resources Untours on Mama Earth Day 2016 to share the medicine of radical redistribution and community reparations with wealth hoarders and land occupiers across Turtle Island, as well as to unwash the settler lies told and sold about all of this occupied indigenous land now held hostage by the lie of private property. They are not protests or actions. They're an urgent prayer for change.
The stolen resources untours are loosely based on the Bolden movement of India launched by Vinoba Bhave, who walked through India asking wealthy landowners to give their land to landless people. With a similar vision, Tiny led our small group of landless and indigenous peoples being hit the hardest by displacement, gentrification, police terror, and colonization intentionally across the invisible and visible lines between the land and the resource hoarders, aka the very rich.
So, out of that process of going across Mother Earth, and specifically so-called Americlan occupied Turtle Island, we were able to create and realize that there are many things that I call the clan marks. AKA the landmarks. That are ways that secular colonial terrorists mark and wash their violent histories with markers and statues. I'm sure a lot of you might know of the well-known saint, Junipero Serra, who was even canonized by the more user-friendly liberal Pope. Even though it was well known that that person was a violent pedophile, a rapist, and essentially, a criminal, right? But the ways in which history is told, and I'm sure I don't have to tell any of you all, the person who kills the most, hoards the most, and claims the most is the one who is lifted up. We're in this moment right now of a colonial terror. And so we really hope that this book is medicine, not only for this generation, but for all the 7 generations to come. And what we do is we also lift up the resistance marks. Resistance marks to us are the spaces and places that poor people and houseless people and indigenous people have reclaimed or have been remembered. And I want to also name that right here in so-called San Jose, Ohlone land. If you might famously know a place called the Jungle, right? Which was a really large community. I don't call them encampments. Encampment is a military-industrial complex word. It was a community of houseless people. They didn't have any resources. They weren't supported by the city. And so this system calls us crazy, lazy, dumb, and a bum.